When you talk about fracking, she's had no fracking under, I mean, we have 25 commercials. Sometimes we put them on simultaneously. She's just, and now all of a sudden, I love fracking. I think it's wonderful.
So that was former President Trump earlier today going after Vice President Harris on her fracking policies. This is the VP appears to once again be changing her stance on this issue, which is obviously especially crucial in a key battleground state of Pennsylvania. Doug Holtz-Eakin's former CBO director, Robert Wolf, the former economic advisor to President Obama. Welcome to you both. Speaking of which, we're going to hear from the former President Obama a bit later next hour, Robert. So first to you, Robert. Where does she stand on this issue? It's getting quite confusing. Is she for fracking?
Yeah. So I was with the campaign actually in Pennsylvania on Sunday and Monday. She absolutely does not support banning fracking. She supports fracking. She voted on the Inflation Reduction Act, which extended fracking leases. What's really going on is energy companies aren't using the permits and leasing because, as you'll see by their earnings, they're shifting completely to renewable. Just like in Texas is now more renewable energy than California. So this is a real debate, in my opinion, about someone that's been clear that she supports fracking, but the energy companies aren't using the permitting right now anyway. Okay,
Doug Holtz, does that make sense to you?
Look, has she flip-flopped? Yes, unquestionably. It's on videotape. Her advisors can't seem to give the same answer 2 days in a row. But the real issue is, where would she be if elected as president? And I think we get a pretty good hint on that from Democratic Senator Bob Casey, whose campaign is now running ads saying, I support Trump's energy plan, because we know what the bottom line there is. He's going to support fracking, support one of the industries that has been part of the renaissance of the state of Pennsylvania, and not support his party's candidate.
Okay. So the reason why the oil industry is now firing this back up with Kamala Harris to understand where she sits on the issue, Robert, is because her climate engagement director, Camilla Thorndike, was giving a brand new interview in which that person said Harris is not banning fracking, but isn't promoting expansion either. What we've heard when she's been challenged on whether or not she's flip-flopped in the issue, she simply said, my values have not changed. Okay, so I'm reading this again. But she's not promoting expansion either. That's not for fracking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually spoke to the campaign this morning. I think you will see that individual, their climate person, has made a statement. I think that original statement was inartful. I'm probably being kind, but it's clear that from Kamala's perspective, the vice president, it's very clear that she supports fracking. She's not a ban for fracking. They've extended the leases. And I think what's more important is energy companies are shifting to renewables, and that's where they're putting their CapEx.
Well, I'm left wondering, Doug, where does that leave her with those who are engaged with her on the climate and do want her to ban fracking?
Well, first of all, kudos to Robert for being gentlemanly about handling this. I mean, the aide really stepped in and made their life complicated. Even Robert had to be very careful on how he said it. He double negative. She doesn't support banning fracking. You got to tiptoe your way through the words there to get to her position, because they've made such a mess of this over the year. So bottom line is, she is not repudiating the Biden administration's approach to climate, and that approach has been to ban fuels, not keep track of what goes into the atmosphere, which is ultimately the scientific issue, but instead to demonize fuel after fuel after fuel, coal, oil, natural gas. That's not been an effective strategy. We're not making great progress in dealing with global emissions, and it's not a good economic policy.
Well, that person, Camilla Thorndike, sought to clarify her comments in a tweet yesterday. I should make sure I get this in here, Robert. She said, I didn't explain myself clearly here. Contrary to Trump's claims, the VP has not banned fracking, doesn't support banning fracking, and in fact cast the tie-breaking vote on the biggest pro-climate law ever, which, yes, opened new fracking leases. People know that is her position. Well, apparently it was news to her. I just want to put up what has happened with energy. Robert, you and I have talked a lot about this over the Biden-Harris years. This is energy inflation. This is what the American people say that they're feeling out there, which is why they tie her directly to the policies that have led to this. You've got gasoline up 30%. Electricity prices have gone up. Your utility bills have skyrocketed. And this is where they, this is since he took office. This is when Biden and Harris took office. So why are people to believe that she's going to improve a situation that she's been leading to that?
Well, I mean, we could have a whole discussion on energy policy. I mean, Douglas knows that energy is a global commodity. Between the Ukraine war, between the embargo with Russia, between the opening post-COVID. I mean, we've had the perfect storm on energy prices going up. I mean, that's like post-SEP 11, post-Persian Gulf, and post-Russia embargo all happening at once. I was at Salomon Brothers with Philip Brothers. When I was at UBS, we bought Enron. So we can have a total energy policy explanation here, but we know it's a global commodity.
That would
the
be
good thing is that U.S. is more energy independent than we've ever been and is supplying more oils of barrel than we've ever had. That being said, we can always do better.
And if we were producing more, we wouldn't be so reliant on all those geopolitics that Robert just mentioned. Final thought, Douglas.
Well, I think that's an accurate description of world oil markets, but natural gas markets are not global to the extent that oil is. And the Biden administration has actually firmly opposed making them more global by stopping providing permits to build new export facilities. So, yeah, there's progress that could be made on global commodity markets, but we've got a North American natural gas market, and it's one that is very important to the U.S. especially, and that's what this issue is about.
Absolutely, and does obviously set up the fact that there is more clarity needed on energy policy coming from the Harris camp. Robert, we know you're on the phone. We'll check back in with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thanks, Doug. John?